What is up, everybody? How you all doing today? So today I kind of want to take the chance to do a story time. Now, I usually don't do these. I do really enjoy these. So, yeah. The idea I have is to do a story time about every Sunday, maybe, if I have a good one to tell. Without further ado, let's just get into things. Alright, so today I have a story about some school. Now, I think school is honestly, if you're looking to make some story times, kind of like if you're, someone like Scrubby or something, who I really enjoy his content, school is always the best place, or the best kind of setting for where you kind of want to see if you have any good stories to tell, if you're kind of into the whole story time genre on YouTube. Honestly, something interesting always happens at school. If it's the quiet kid, bringing a Glock in his backpack, or if it's something like your Karen teacher freaking out, then that's going to be a perfect story time. Now, sadly, the story time today isn't about those things, but it is about one particular class I had that was interesting. And yes, I know I'm bad at Overwatch. Okay, don't bully me in the comments. I haven't played in a week. I've been playing Warzone, so yeah, I just needed a quick video. So yeah, but now back to the actual script. So the class that this incident basically occurred in was, your typical writing class. Now, it was technically English. I mean, English is usually divided into literature and writing, and I had writing in the afternoon and literature in the morning. And obviously, I had the same teacher. Now, in my opinion, the teacher was pretty cool. I mean, she wasn't really biased, so that's the only problem. So if you had a hard time with the class, or you just, I don't know, maybe you just didn't like to read or something, you were going to have a really, really troubling time, because she kind of favored a lot of kids that tended to do more well with writing and like to read more. So, taking all of that into account, the rest of the story, you're going to want to remember that, because it'll probably be very important and what kind of goes down, at least in terms of discipline. That's a little hint at what's going to happen. So anyways, on this day, our teacher is sick. She threw up in class, or not in class, but I think on lunch break. We had her in the morning, but we didn't have her in the afternoon. And so my typical class, now usually what'll happen, at least if you're in middle school, you'll kind of have, your specials, quote unquote. That's at least what they call them in elementary. Really your encore classes. And you have your main classes: history, literature, writing, science, math. Typically, math was divided. There was a pre-algebra and a regular 6th grade math thing and a 7th grade math thing, but accelerated. It was really confusing. But basically, with these main core classes, you would typically have the same group of kids and the same group of students. So, let's say your friend is in history, well, you also see them in writing and literature, so on and so forth. But my kind of group of kids we were kind of troublemakers, not gonna lie. I mean, we weren't the best. I mean, there was another class. Now, I don't know how good they were, how bad. I knew a lot of them definitely were a little questionable, to say the least. I mean, but I didn't really hear many bad things about the class. But ours it didn't really blend well. I don't know what it was, but there was the smart kids, kind of. I shouldn't say smart kids, because I don't want to make it seem like others are dumb. They're not, but by smart, I mean the kids that did somewhat better in these core classes because they were favored more. It's really confusing, but honestly, that is how it kind of goes with this kind of stuff. And with that, you also have the other kids who are kind of the troublemakers. Yeah, honestly, like, there's probably a few that, like, they weren't troublemakers, they just didn't have the best of luck with the class. I don't know why. It depends, context and stuff like that, but, so those guys also kind of, were shifted into the troublemakers, sort of, and I don't want to say troublemakers, that sounds like, I'm a teacher's pet, but, yeah. So, with all the kind of background info on my class, I want to get into the main juicy part of the video. So, obviously, because our teacher was gone, we had a sub, and gotta be honest, I mean, he was looking a little buff. Like, he worked out, he was, like, really fit, and that kind of, like, sent the class into, like, hyperdrive almost. You can tell. Obviously, he was also a little, like, he was chill, I guess. It was weird because from the mind of someone who's a nerd, honestly, I gotta be honest, at least at that school, kind of teacher's pet, not full teacher's pet, but, like, to the point where there was he was okay. I mean, you gotta have a class with a well-structured setting, and he didn't really maintain the class. He kind of let them get out of control, which is what led to this happening in the class. So it all kind of started when the class just started getting out of control. I mean, we were also really chatty, I don't know I forgot the saying. We were a very chatty kind of group, and honestly, that's with, like, every single grade, but the 6th grade this year, man, we were kind of messed up, not gonna lie. I'm being honest. Like, we were okay, we were just a little weird, honestly. I mean, I don't want to get into it, okay? It was just weird. It was just weird. But we were very chatty, and so we obviously talked a lot, which then, again, that kind of sent everybody into, like, oh, since the teacher's not really doing much, like, he was just threatening, but since the teacher isn't doing much, then we can do rambunctious stuff. Now, I don't want to. See, there's a part of me that's, the teacher's pet side, and then there's a part of me that wants to look at it like, I don't know. I mean, whatever, I guess. We were a little crazy. I'm being honest. We were crazy. So a lot of the kind of quote-unquote popular kids, I mean, not popular, but the kids that, like, stood out in the class, they all grouped up in a corner, which, if you ever know, like, the popular kids, kind of, that doesn't go well, and it didn't. I mean, I really don't know what they all did when they were sitting over there, but before that, it was crazy. So some kids were kind of running around the class. I remember 2 people, actually. I won't name names, of course, obviously, but they were throwing pencils around, which, I mean, it's dangerous. That's like, I think anybody can see that that's a little dangerous. But you do you, I guess. I don't really know. But basically, they were throwing around pencils, they were running around. Some kids were also stealing these Skittles, and now we have these Skittles that our teacher actually gave out the morning. So yeah, some kids were kind of stealing some Skittles, which is pretty funny. I don't want to seem like a nerd, but it's just. It was a little funny, honestly, that they were stealing Skittles. Messed up, very messed up, but they were taking some, which they definitely got in trouble. But one of them, I won't spoil it, but I'll get into it in a second because it was really funny. Now, sadly, I can't really remember all of the stuff that went down, but I remember it was just kind of crazy. Like, I didn't pay attention to, like, a lot of it, at least the minor details. I did pay attention, but it was interesting.
Check your gear and weapons. We go soon.
It's kind of embarrassing, like, and now I understand this. Hold up. Okay, so me and this other kid,
watch the skies.
I had to snitch on the whole class. Now, obviously, this is very, very wrong. I mean, when there's dangerous stuff, you gotta do what you gotta do. But it wasn't like, you know, that kind of crazy, I guess. Dangerous. Now y'all know the saying, snitches get stitches. And I don't know why he's arrested. But me and this kid devised a plan to snitch, so we emailed the teacher.
Mark some gear.
Plunder.
Like a list of
Mission
names.
is simple. Secure more cash than the enemy.
That was doing stuff
I'll get it
wrong,
done.
or like that was messing around.
I'll have that.
And so we didn't really think much of it, obviously, but it was golden. Like, looking back on it now, it's perfect to tell it's like a story because, like, never would I have ever thought that me and this kid would devise a plan to snitch on the whole class in 6th grade. I never would have thought in my years of being in elementary and, you know, even the beginning of the year in middle school, I never would have thought I would snitch on the whole class. But I did. Me and this kid, we snitched on them hard. We really did.
Enemy recon
So the
drone
next
in your
day
area.
comes, and it was a little crazy. Our class was in really big trouble. Honestly, understandable. You know, our teacher was in this
Move to the target area. You don't have long.
disappointed kind of state the whole day, and I don't blame her. It wasn't her fault. It really wasn't. We had a messed up class. I don't like some of the stuff that went down. It was insane. Honestly, I mean, like I probably shouldn't even like be telling this story because it just
Allied cluster strike incoming.
makes our school look so bad when we weren't. I mean, like, our school isn't. I moved, but like the school isn't that bad. It's just that class or that group of kids, not the class, but the group of kids that are horrible or that are like badly mixed. It's not good. It isn't good, and it was too chaotic. But like I said, I mean, I don't know if I said this before, but the principals, the assistant principal and the principal came in. They kind of talked to us, at least for a little bit, and maybe like second hour. That's our literature. We have writing last hour, 7th hour training. It's a pretty good class, I would say, to end off. I would probably rather do history, I would say, or do something like science, maybe. Math would be too messed up as last hour, but that's besides the point. The main point is that the principals, you know, they told us, come back and at the lunch,
Allied
at
UAV
lunch hour
overhead.
or whatever. I think it was like 5th hour or 4.5. I don't remember exactly, but we had to come back at lunch.
Extraction is standing by. Mark an LZ
Kinda
for pickup.
stinked. I mean, we were a little late, a lot late, like 10 minutes late, but it was
Contract
it was
time
definitely
expired.
what I
Stand
would
down.
say. So yeah. Now, basically, they kind of talked to the whole class, and then they sent the people that whose names were on the email. Those people were the one that were in real trouble. We weren't, like, the rest of the class wasn't really in trouble. We were just, like, the whole class is more of just lectured, honestly. But the other kids, I don't exactly know what happened to them. I'm guessing it was, like, severe warning. I don't know if there was detentions, probably for some. Definitely some, but most of it was probably just a lecture because, like, I didn't remember, like, hearing anything else really much about it, about the kids that were called out and, you know, stuff like that. So these kids had to go grab their lunch, and they had to kind of wait outside while the principals talked to everybody else that was sort of innocent. I mean, the whole class was kind of crazy. Honestly, they talked a lot, you know. I'm just being honest. Look, I'm just being honest. But basically, they talked to us, and talk to us after sending this one kid out. It's probably one of the most funny things of this whole thing. The snitching part was the funniest, but this was the second funniest. It's involved more snitching. So basically, the second half of the class, which was the majority of good kids, I don't want to say good kids, I want to say ones that again, not really troublemakers, but the teachers didn't really like them. Now they didn't stop exactly.
Enemy vehicle.
But basically, the rest of the good kids, we talked about the principal's son. Now, the principal's son, he's I'm not gonna say his name, obviously, but who's in my class. It's pretty cool. Pretty chill.
I see one.
But he was one of the people that stole some Skittles. I think he only stole like one pack, but we all saw him took it, and so we totally snitched up to him. Keep in mind, he's a principal's son, so think about how bad he's probably grounded at home. You know, probably heard very high standard, being the principal's son at that school. It would be a different story if it was at a different school, but it was at that school. The principal's son. So, immediately once he leaves,
Allied UAV overhead.
Then we all immediately, like the whole class immediately starts snitching on him.
Enemy soldier
like,
incoming.
I'm not joking. It's like the assistant principal basically said that just because he's the principal's son, he doesn't mean so the whole class snitches on him like simultaneously. Like there was no arguing that he had stolen Skittles. Alright, so I think that's it for today. And yes, I may sound different. I'm recording this the next day. I just woke up about like 2 hours ago. But that's gonna be it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please drop a like and subscribe. Turn on those noties, and I'll catch y'all next time. See ya!